The world is full of people who want to achieve greatness. 41 years ago, a Japanese boy was born who would go on to become an icon. His name is Hidetoshi Nakata, a free spirit with an iron will who became one of the most fascinating players ever to play the beautiful game.
Nakata, safe, and goal! Japan have done it!
僕は日本で今歴代でナンバーワンプレーヤーはヒデだと思ってますね。
Style, intellect, stature. He's one of the most recognizable faces in the sport. And his celebrity grew so much that some compare his impact to that of David Beckham, while others draw their own parallels.
モハメド・アリ的なカリスマだったのかなという気もします。
His charisma, good looks and talent shot him to superstardom. But coming from Japan, a country with a culture that celebrates the collective, he had a personality that stood out as different from the rest.
I just do everything on my way. I never follow anyone. Of course, sometimes I listen to someone, but most likely I always think by myself. And I always create my own way, because I think this is my life.
Growing up, Hide didn't idolize football players, but discovered the game in a unique way.
Even now, actually, I love manga. So I discovered this Captain Tsubasa about football. Then I started reading this manga, then I was fascinated. Then I just played. Most likely I never watched the football games. So I never had idols, dream player, or I never thought I could become professional football player. Just, I liked the football, so just keep training, playing because of fun. It's not all about professional. Then I started to be selected like under 15 years, like national team, under 17, youth team, Olympics team. Then I realized that, I have a chance to become a professional. Then I just became a professional. So I'm sorry to say that for the, lots of kids want to become professional, but the professional football player was not my, a biggest dream.
Hide's achievements on the pitch were plentiful. He lifted successive AFC Player of the Year awards and was shortlisted for the FIFA World Player of the Year and Ballon d'Or. Given his achievements, he's rather modest about his own ability.
I'm not big, I'm not strong, I'm not fast, I'm not skillful. So, only thing I can fight against those big players and great players with my brain. If my brain doesn't work, nothing works.
A cerebral player, his game was also complemented by an exceptional work rate and will to win.
I'm very, very stubborn since I was a kid, and I don't want to lose. I never want to lose. So I just try harder and harder to become better player and not to lose with anyone, and just to enjoy.
Hide's strong character would help lead him to greatness on the world stage. But before the bright lights of camera bulbs and big stadiums, he grew up playing in the rural Yamanashi prefecture.
Lots of nature around, playing with the friends. Not like today, lots of, TV games. More like we just playing around in the nature.
At age 9, he started his youth career with Hokushin Boys Soccer Club in 1986.
でそんな時にゲームとか行くと僕の前をちょろちょろ小学生が動くんですよ。ベンチでこうやってやってる時に。で「お前邪魔だから向こう行け」って いや俺出してみたいな、そういうふうななんかこうオープンでこうやりたいみたいなのをこう正直に彼はこうどんどん言うんだなっていう、まあ僕が今まで僕もそうだったし、僕が携わっていた中学生なんかはやっぱりはいってこうね。
The idea that Hide was special continued to thrive when at 13, the young free spirit had no qualms in giving the coach a piece of his mind.
中2で、まあ、そろそろ中心選手でやっていく年代になってくる時に、よく僕も昔の指導者だったんで、もう経験だけでやってきたんで、なんかことが起こると、じゃあ走るぞと、じゃあもう平気でこうタッチライン往復20本とか30本とか、ある時当然試合に負けて、じゃあ走るぞと、10本か途中まで走った時にとことこ僕のとこに来て、皆川さんなんで走らないの、だって負けた原因は俺らだけじゃないでしょって、皆川さんにも原因あるでしょって、おっとと思って、もうそんなことをね言うやつは一人も今までそれまでいなかったので、まあ俺もまあ気持ち的にはその時はなんか偶然落ち着いたのかな、よしじゃあ走るかっつって、で一緒に走ったんですけど、まあ、10本くらいでもう終わりにしようっつってもうみんながそれで助かったっていうエピソードがあるんですけど。
Having first been called up to the Japanese under-17s in 1991 while at junior high in Kofu, Hide attended Nirasaki High School a year later to finish his education. Here he got good grades and wowed his fellow teammates with the strength of his will to one day reach the pinnacle of his sport.
いや思わなかったです。例えば高校時代もまあいや能力が高いし、いやすごい選手だなと思ってて、でいやこれはもう J リーグに行くだろうなと僕思ってましたよ。でただそんな枠ではなく J リーグを飛び越えてセリア行ってスクデット取ると。で当時本当に休み時間にイタリア語を勉強してたんで、でも、まあ、僕らの中では J リーグ行って活躍するんだろうなぐらいしか思ってないけど、でも彼の中ではJ リーグ行くのは当たり前で、イタリアに行って活躍するから、勉強する、そういうこう自分の将来をそこまで、見えてないとそこまでいけないと思うんです。見えてたってことですよね。
In 1995, it was time for the 18-year-old Hide to sign his first professional contract. He carefully chose Shonan Bellmare, not one of the J-League's bigger clubs, but one that would not stand in the way of his ultimate goal.
I tried 4 teams, then Bellmare was I felt like I could have more freedom in the other teams, which was very important for me to do a better performance. Under my contract with Bellmare from the beginning, if I have an offer from the outside of Japan, Bellmare, they will agree for me to leave to in the European clubs or anywhere if I have offers.
When Hide was there, Bellmare, who've spent more time in J2 than the J-League, enjoyed the best spell in their history, with Hide scoring the winner as they won the 1995 Asian Cup Winners' Cup in his first season. He'd go on to become captain, and so loved that he was, they would later name the 7th gate Hide Gate. He was a huge source of pride, not least because of what he was achieving for his country. In 1996, his iron will famously helped the Samurai Blue beat the mighty Brazil at the Olympics in Atlanta.
アトランタオリンピックでブラジルと当たった時にほとんどの選手はうわスーパースターが横にいるっていうことでもう大興奮なわけですよ。彼だけがさあどうやって勝とうかって考えてたわけですから全然違いましたよね。
Eventual winners Nigeria pipped Japan to getting out of their group on goal difference, but the famous win over Brazil and another against Hungary were a sign of things to come. In 1997, Hide was 20 years old. Japan had never qualified for a World Cup before, but as they went into a do-or-die playoff game with Iran in Johor Bahru, he was convinced he would lead them to France 98.
In my career, I never failed. From the, under 17 years old, the youth, Olympics game, so why World Cup? I never thought, we are not going to qualify. Always, I was confident. oh, we qualify, no matter what.
Such was his belief that he told his friend Narumi Komatsu, who'd go on to become his biographer, that this one was in the bag.
それはジョホールバルでワールドカップ出場をかけて戦った時にですね、その前夜彼は私に必ずあなたを成美さんをワールドカップに連れて行くと言ったんですね。
We didn't have nothing to lose.
It was a performance that went down in Japanese football folklore. Here, a determined Nakata grabbed his team by the scruff of the neck and provided all 3 assists in the 3-2 victory. He even had an influence on the substitution that would lead to a famous winner.
で僕もちょうどそういうのを考えてて、ずっと考えてて、で岡野っていう選手を使ったことないんだけど、ここで出してどうなるだろうというのを考えた時に、ヒデがなんかポンと岡野って名前言ったんだけど、なんかね背中を押してくれたっていう、おっと思ったんだよね。自分がものすごく悩んでたのがずっと考えた時に、それが結果的に当たったんだけど、やっぱりすごいやつだなと思ってましたよ、当時から。選手やってたらそんな冷静に見れないんですよ。
Booking passage to France '98 meant everything to the Japanese people. Many were swept with emotion at the final whistle, but Hide never lost his cool.
号泣しちゃってたんですね、嬉しくて。で、あの頃は今と違って記者と選手の関係っていうのも取材の規制がそれほど厳しくなかったので、僕らもピッチになだれ込んで選手たちに話を聞いたし、選手たちと抱き合って喜んだ。で、僕が号泣してるのを見て彼は笑ったんですよ。何泣いてんのこんなところで。でもあの時は中田英寿が僕にとってはトンチンカンなやつに見えたわけです。なぜここで泣かないんだと、こんな素晴らしい場面で。でも今になってみれば分かりますよね。今ワールドカップ出場を決めて泣く記者も選手もファンも誰もいない。
Despite falling to 3 defeats in France, Japan's participation meant that they'd finally busted down the door. They were trailblazers, so much so that they've been present at every World Cup since. It was an experience that was crucial for the team's growth, while Hide revelled in his role as the young star.
I was second youngest player in the team, so I didn't have any responsibility. Just I could enjoy. So actually, to be honest with you, I played 98, 2002, 2006, 2006. Then 98 was my best World Cup.
Legend has it that his signature bleached hair was designed to attract scouts, and perhaps it worked. His performances caught the eye of several European clubs, including Italian side Perugia, who snapped him up for $4 million. After the break, Hide takes Europe by storm, while the rest of the world embrace Nakata mania.
「当時のガゼッタ・デロ・スポルトの記者が言ったのが忘れられない。戦力として日本人がセリエ A でプレーするようになるにはあと100年かかるねと。それが1995年の話でした。
Hidetoshi Nakata's move to Italy in 1998 was a game changer. Here was an Asian player with unmistakable style and the talent to do what no one had been able to do before. It helped then that he arrived at just 21 years old, but with no fear of his new surroundings.
Under 17 years old, World Cup, Youth World Cup, Olympics game, everything I played. So I know all the top players in my age. So I was not afraid going to Europe.
But while Hide knew he could have a big impact, it wasn't easy to make believers of his new teammates at Perugia.
The people in Italy, they didn't think that a Japanese player can play in the European leagues or Italian leagues. Then the players themselves, they didn't trust me. They didn't give me any passes at the beginning. Maybe many players thought that I was so egoistic in a way, but that was not important. Important was that to make score. Then, after first game, 2 scores against Juventus, everything has changed because Juventus was, champions in the last season. Then Perugia was maybe in the bottom team in the league, but still, people saw the result. It was not important that my skills or, I'm coming from Japan or Asian people or maybe, it's not important because everybody saw what I could have done. It was impossible to go in Europe to play in the European League, not only for Japanese players, but for entire Asia. So I think that was a, very important step for Japan and for the Asia.
His second season drew another 4 league goals as lowly Perugia finished 10th in Serie A. His performances inevitably drew offers from clubs around the world. He would move to Roma for almost $26 million, helping them to win only the 3rd Scudetto in their history. It was a stunning team, and one that included legends like Cafu, Francesco Totti and Gabriel Batistuta. At 24 years old and with teammates of such high quality, Hide reached perhaps the very peak of his powers.
The training in Rome was much harder than playing, against other teams. I think that's the reason why we became champion. And if you think all the names who are playing in Rome that time, was even today I think, oh wow, I could play better because of them. Because normally when you become a better player, you don't really learn from coaches. You learn from the players. So if you have a great players around you, you can play better.
That Roma team is regarded as one of the best in Serie A history, and they haven't lifted the Scudetto since. Hide's only season in the capital delivered 30 games and 5 goals, and with a flood of offers from around the world, he was transferred to Parma for $26 million, a record fee for an Asian player that would not be broken for 14 years. With the success, media scrutiny reached fever pitch. But stemming from his time in Japan, Hide distrusted the journalists, choosing not to speak to the majority of his country's media for almost 10 years.
To people, I don't see them as a journalist. I talk to the people. Honestly, I speak everything. But once they start writing or saying something different that I tell, then I don't trust, not as a journalist, I don't trust as a people. So that's why I just choose people that I can trust, not because of media, not because of journalists, because I see any people, as a human being.
例えばメディアはサッカーに集中したい時にサッカーとは違う話題、彼のプライベートやそうしたことに興味を持つと。彼はそうしたことにものすごい繊細で、笑ってやり過ごすことができる選手もいるけれども、彼は違ったんですよね。明らかにそうしたことに傷つき、殻をこう作っていった。
I don't judge because of their jobs. So if I can trust you as a person, I talk to you. I tell you everything. But if I don't trust you, I don't care who you are, what you do. So that time, I couldn't trust many people, maybe because of their jobs, to sell more, newspapers. But that's not my matter. So that's the reason why I just chose the people that I can trust.
Instead of giving interviews, he communicated to fans via his website, Nakata.net. Such was public interest that it sometimes recorded millions of hits in a single day. This may have placated his legions of fans, but heading into the 2002 World Cup on home soil, Expectations of Japan's star man were high. He embraced the added responsibility and scored against Tunisia as Japan finished top of their group.
Actually, at that time, only a few players were playing outside of Japan, and I was kind of the first one in that team. Then I had a little bit of responsibility, but the good thing was it was not for the first World Cup. I had already had experience before.
The host's dream run was brought to an end with a 1-0 loss to Turkey in the knockouts, while at club level, Hide would come to endure a more challenging phase in his career. Having helped Parma win the Coppa Italia just before that World Cup, he appeared 67 times for them and scored 5 goals, but faced struggles with injury in a 2-year spell that saw a loan move to Bologna before signing for Fiorentina. In 2005, he was awarded the Order of the Star of Italian Solidarity, one of Italy's highest honours for improving the country's image overseas, though his struggles with fitness saw him depart for England with a loan move to Premier League side Bolton. He soon had news that would shock the world. In Japan's final game of the World Cup in Germany, a loss to Brazil, where he fell to the floor in tears, as this was his last game before retirement at just 29 years old.
That was maybe the most difficult World Cup for me. Because, people in Japan already get used to see us playing at the World Cup because it was the third time. And lots of players were playing outside Japan, had more experience. And maybe, everyone has had a different thoughts, different opinions, maybe different goals. But still, I was one of the oldest players in the team. Then I had maybe more experienced. So I felt, I need to lead all the players, this team, to get through better stages. But, I always loved freedom. So that was a little bit difficult because I didn't have mentally I didn't have much freedom. Then maybe I had some gap with other players.
Many speculated as to why Hide decided to retire comparatively early, but he insists the decision had been made long before the tournament.
I didn't decide that night because we lost. I had made my decision much earlier, about, I would say, half a year before the World Cup. Not because only one reason, because a lot of reasons. But, I said from the beginning, the football is all about my passion. It's not my business, my work. Of course, saying goodbye is not easy for anyone, not only the football or anything. But in your life, there is always time to say goodbye.
Visitors to Hide's office will not find shirts hanging on the wall. He barely recalls where he keeps his medals. He still loves to play though, and does so often for charity, but he probably wouldn't be able to tell you the score of last night's match.
I started playing football because I love it, because of manga, so it's all about the passion. I knew I played football because of the money, because of business. So I understand business should become bigger, but that should be always second. You know, the first should come always passion.
After hanging up his boots, the free spirit now had time to roam, and that's exactly what he did, travelling the world and seeking a new chapter as his passion for football began to expand towards other pursuits.
When I retired, I didn't have any thoughts what to do next. But I played all my life. You know, I didn't do anything else, which means I didn't know anything outside football. So I needed to have time to discover around the world and myself as well.
Having modelled throughout his career, Hide is a style icon with strong connections to the fashion industry. But it was a rediscovery of his homeland that would lead to his next career move as he immersed himself in Japanese culture as well as releasing his own brand of high-end sake.
I start traveling all the way, all 47 prefectures in Japan, visiting craftsmen, farmers, sake makers, shrines, temples, all the places. So I spent 7 years just to travel. I learned so many things, and actually I'm really passionate about the Japanese culture, and finally I think I have found, after the football, something that I put all my time and all my efforts to make something, you know, different in my life.